And hello, everyone, and welcome to my Facebook chat, Conscious Eating, Conscious Living, where I bring up different topics that might interest some of you. They interest me as I come across them. And today is like one of those that's come across my field for a reason. And so I'm going to share with you about copper mugs, and copper in organic food. Whew. So let's have a look at it. And I just welcome you to do your research, find out more for yourself, and go from there. This is just an awareness, educational awareness for you. So thank you for joining me. My name is Ann Metcalf, and I'm just a healthy eating, healthy food advocate. Uh, not telling you what to eat or do, but to think what is good for me. And you know what? There's a little something, this little pendulum that you can test for yourself if you've got too much copper or not enough, or that red apple is better than the green apple. And if you go to my website, Authentic Sacred Design, I actually have videos that explain how to determine what is your yes and what is your no, and have fun with it. Because we're all energy, food, our bodies, the universe. Well, you know what? What's it telling you? So let's get started. So copper craze or copper hazard. Seeing through the shine before you sip, spray, or spiral. Why copper suddenly looks holy. From hammered water jugs to spiraled sticks and veggie beds, copper has gone viral as a natural superconductor. Influencers think or link it to ancient temples, electromagnetic healing, and bumper harvests. The pitch is powerful because, like many wellness trends exposed during COVID 19, it blends a grain of real science. We do need traces of copper with a heroic narrative. The elites hid this from you. We all love the idea of rediscovering ancient wisdom, especially when it's shiny, sacred, and said to raise your frequency. Copper is the latest darling in this trend, promoted for everything from better hydration to energy rich gardens. But what if this glow is hiding something darker? So, essential but easily toxic. Yes, copper is a trace mineral and we need it in tiny amounts, but the safety line is razor thin. Just 10 milligrams a day can push us into toxic territory. Overexposure doesn't just happen in labs, it can happen in your kitchen, garden, and even on your dinner plate. What are the symptoms? Too much copper can cause nausea, gut irritation, fatigue, brain fog, mood swings, skin flares, and even liver and kidney damage. Chronic buildup hides in tissues, not in the blood, so standard tests often miss it. Meanwhile, symptoms get blamed on stress or detox or other misdiagnosed issues. The copper essential but easy to overdo. Human requirement about 900, I'm going to say units, UG per day for adults. Safety ceiling 10 milligrams per day is the official tolerable upper level, according to NIH in the States. And that's razor thin margin, just 10 to 12 times more than you need. By comparison, you can swallow 30 times your daily vitamin C requirement without any trouble. It just gets flushed out. What happens when you cross the line? Clinical and community trials show that copper rich water, more than 1.3 milligram per liter, can trigger nausea, abdominal pain, and diarrhea within hours. Chronic overexposure stores the metal in liver, brain, and connective tissue, leading to headaches, mood swings, anemia, and eventually organ damage. Wilson's disease is the textbook example. And I can put links in the Facebook if you want to do some further reading. Copper vessels, beautiful and reactive ancient Egyptians. They did it. They killed the bacteria and the bugs in the water, but over time it shortened their lives and affected their brain. And perhaps that was just the elite, did the local lower class, middle class, actually drink water from those copper pots. Maybe they were spared and lived longer. I don't know. Storing plain water for a couple of hours in a clean copper bottle is usually below the 1.3 milligram per liter guideline. Trouble starts when you add an acid, lemon, vinegar, kombucha. Leaching rises fast. Let water sit overnight. Get that patina, copper oxide, more ions. Drink all day, every day. If you love the aesthetic, use copper for short contact only and stick to neutral liquids. Healthline puts it bluntly, the mineral benefits are unproven, but the risks of excess are known. And that's healthline.com. Electroculture, science or clickbait. The internet is awash with claims that wrapping copper wire around sticks channels free atmospheric energy into the plants. Controlled trials are scarce. Garden science educators who reviewed their literature found no reproducible yield boost and warned of soil copper accumulation instead. And that's from gardenprofessors.com. Remember, organic farms only deploy copper sprays as a last resort pesticide, precisely because the metal is biocidal and builds up in the soil. Copper sulfate, root killer, not a tonic. Plumbers and pond keepers use copper sulfate to destroy invasive roots, algae, and parasites. The same compound has an oral LD50 of 450 milligram per kilogram in rats and is moderately toxic to humans at far lower doses. That's why accidental or intentional ingestion shows up in medical case reports of liver and kidney failure. Translation: if it kills tree roots, think twice before sprinkling near your salad greens. Where hidden copper creeps in: old pipes, especially if your water is slightly acidic; high copper foods, cacao, nuts, seeds, legumes, without balancing the zinc. So check that out. Multivitamins, many add 100 to 200% of the daily value, whether you need it or not. And because you can't test it in the blood, it's only in the tissue, that's a hard one to find out if you're already too high. And perhaps, check with a pendulum and see, see if you've got too much copper or not. Copper IUDs, releasing ions around the clock. Bluestone sprays on organic grapes or tomatoes. Spotting the detox versus the toxic trap. Wellness marketing often reframes copper symptoms, fatigue, nausea, rashes, as a healing crisis. A simple litmus test. If discomfort improves when you stop the product, it was excess, not a detox. So where are coppers hidden in everyday life? Well, the older homes with the copper plumbing, copper mugs or water bottles, especially with lemon water or vinegar, multi-minerals in hair, skin, nail supplements, and that we've mentioned. Now, the organic produce sprayed with bluestone copper. And how do you find out about that? Certainly not on the packages, organic grapes or organic tomatoes. It doesn't say last effort to reduce parasites was to use this copper sulfate. So, hi, polarity. One side shouts miracle metal, the other yells deadly poison. The truth lies in the middle. And that's where the sovereignty begins. Ask for numbers, not anecdotes. What dose? What study? How big was the effect? Check incentives. Is the messenger selling the cure or the fear? Follow the body's design. We've got this beautiful, innate, divine design. Eat mineral-rich plants, supplement only verified gaps, which is challenging. Mind the terrain. Low zinc, high estrogen, and sluggish liver make copper more toxic. Interesting. And respect nuance. And an ancient remedy may also be an ancient pesticide. And what is this bluestone spray? It's an organic, well, it's copper sulfate. It can be a hidden residue. So bluestone is a copper sulfate, copper SCU SO4 5H2O, a vivid blue salt used to make Bordeaux mixture, a bluish mixture, sounds like a wine, sprayed on tomatoes, grapes, and leafy greens to kill mildew and blight. It's approved in organic farming, used since the 1800s. It's permitted by most certifying bodies like the USDA or the Canadian Organic Standards because it's considered a naturally occurring mineral. It has broad spectrum antifungal and antibacterial properties. It helps combat devastating diseases like downy mildew, powdery mildew, and blight on crops like grapes, tomatoes, and potatoes, but only as a last resort. Why? Because copper doesn't break down in soil. Interesting. Kills beneficial microbes and fungi. Oh dear. Accumulates over time in the ground and the food it's grown in. Organic or not, crops like tomatoes, wine, grapes, and potatoes can absorb copper through their roots or retain it on their skin. And while regulators impose limits, stacked exposure from multiple sources, food, cookware, supplements, garden tools, quietly adds up. Just one serving of copper, heavy veggie, can contain 1 to 3 milligrams of copper. Now imagine sipping copper-infused water from a decorative vessel or eating greens from a garden with copper spirals in the soil. We've been taught that natural means harmless. But copper, like mercury and arsenic, was once a trusted ancient remedy too. Historical use doesn't make it wise. Here's the catch. Persistent soil accumulation. That's kind of my concern. So it doesn't degrade. It accumulates over time, binding to organic matter and becoming toxic to earthworms, microbes, and fungi. That is the very life that makes our soil fertile. So you're eating it. Plant uptake. It goes into the vegetables and retains the surface residue on the skin. Washing helps, but not completely, especially if it's inside that grape or tomato. Electroculture or electromyth. The idea of wrapping copper wire around garden stakes to draw that atmospheric energy sounds very magical, but it's not scientifically proven. In fact, over time, these wires leach copper into your soil. And I'm going, oh dear. I use copper mesh around my plants to keep the slugs away. Guess what's coming out of my garden today? It harms the microbes, stunting root growth, and leaving residue in your homegrown food. Oh dear. And we thought we were doing a good job of growing our own food. So check it out for sure. And copper in your body doesn't conduct healing frequencies. It accumulates, especially in people who are zinc deficient or estrogen dominant. Many of us are already, due to modern plastics, birth control, stress, and vegan diets. All right, more research to do. All right, residue limits aren't zero. Even on organic produce, copper residues can remain post-harvest if spraying occurred too close to picking time. While regulators impose limits, example, Codex and the EFSA said 10 milligrams per day is a safe upper intake for adults. Frequent or stacked exposure can secretly or silently exceed that. So, toxicity from repeated use. Consider yearly spraying, especially in the vineyards. Think about that. Know your farmer, know where your wine comes from, know where your grapes come from, because that leads to long-term soil toxicity, reduce microbial biodiversity, and uptake into the wine grapes. Whoops. All right, take home from confusion to clarity. Copper is a remarkable element, conductor, antimicrobial, essential nutrient, but the leap from microgram need to milligram mega dose is shorter than most well reels admit. Before you sip from a shiny jug, which I used to, but once I heard about the Egyptians living shorter lives with their brain damage, I cut that out several years ago. Or you use coils in your garden, or pop a copper heavy supplement, pause. Test with your pendulum. Ask for evidence. Measure your exposure and let balanced nutrition, not metallic mystique, do the quiet healing work. The truth isn't about picking sides. It's about asking better questions. Who's profiting from this trend? What's the dose? Not just the story. Does it follow nature's blueprint or marketing hype? Copper is a tool, not a totem. It can heal, it can harm. In our current world of misinformation, it's time to pause, reassess, and choose wisely. So here we are, copper, dreaded or a treat. I invite you, you're your own alchemist. You are in charge of your body. Check it out and find out more. And at this point, I'm cutting back on copper and in my garden, and check that multi-minerals, how much copper is in it. Anyway, it's just food for thought, right? And we want to be able to think clearly. So have a great day, everyone. You can always ask me questions on the Facebook page or email me at rosiesjoy11@gmail.com and check out my app, Authentic Sacred Design, Body, Mind, Spirit, and Earth. And soon there'll be some garden videos by Jacob because I love his energetic approach. So if you've got questions, let me know. And what do you want to know more about? Until next time, toodaloo.